Welcome back. In this video, we are going to tackle a fundamental programming concept known as loops. Loops allow you to automate repetitive tasks, which is incredibly powerful when working with large data sets or performing the same operations many times. We'll focus on for loops and while loops. So the video dives into loops, a cornerstone of programming that enables the automation of repetitive tasks. We start by explaining why loops are so vital in R, especially for data analysis and financial applications where you might need to process many items or perform calculations over multiple time periods. We then introduce the for loops, demonstrating its syntax for iterating over a sequence of numbers, vectors of text, like stock tickers, and performing calculations repeatedly, like calculating compounding interest over several years. Next, we cover the while loop, which execute codes as long as a specific condition remains true. We illustrate this with a simple countdown and a simulation of reaching a target portfolio value, emphasizing the critical need to ensure the loop's condition eventually becomes false to avoid infinite loop. Yeah, you want to avoid the infinite loop. Finally, we briefly introduce the break statement to exit a loop early and the next statement to skip current iteration, providing more control over loop execution. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so again, loop allow you to execute a block of code multiple times, crucial for automation, especially in data analysis and finance, where you need to process many stocks, many dates, or perform simulation. So we'll start with that's the part one. So part two, the for loop is used to iterate over a sequence. So you can see here numbers, elements in a vector, names in a list, and this is the syntax for loop, right? You have your variable in the sequence, and then you have your code that will be executed for each iteration. So let's start with an example here. So we do a for loop for print numbers here. So print example. So this is gonna print the title, example one for loop. Then yeah, we're just gonna print I in the range of number here. Just print I, it can be for number in the range, print number, right? So but we are using I here. So if we run here, you can see it prints up to 5. The second example is we iterating over a vector of stock tickers. So here again, I print the title. We are iterating over stock tickers here. So we have our tickers here, 4 stock tickers here. We assign it to the ticker variable, and then we use for loop. So for stock in the ticker, just like I in the number range, for stock in the ticker, um, just run through it and paste analyzing um, for the stock, right? Analyzing data for stock. So we run this. You can see for each of these, analyzing data is gonna iterate through it and then paste this, um, you know, string of uh, paste this sort of words to each of the stock. We do the same for ticker aristocrat data. So we have 4 stocks here, from REIT stock to some of other stock, concluding it with 40s. We run this, iterate, and then we get the same value. So for the third example, we are calculating the compound interest over years. So very simple calculation here. We print our title, example 3. We assign, so this is our initial capital in whatever currency you have it. Um, this is our annual interest in fraction for 5%. Number of years, current, and then current capital will be the initial capital, and then it will be iterating. So here we're gonna say for year in 1 to 5 years, right? 1 to 5 years, which is our number of years. Um, do this calculation where the current capital will be the current capital at that time times 1 plus annual interest rate, and then eventually print the end of year and round it to 2 decimal points for the capital, right? Okay, so we run this, right? Hold on. Run initial, annual, number, current, then do our for loops, right? So you see here is looping through it and doing the calculation. So after this one, it loops again and does the calculation using 1050, uh, 1050 times this factor, right? It gives you the current capital, and then it loops again. So it's gonna be looping until it gets to um, 5 years, right? Okay, so that's the for loop here. Quick explanation of for loop. The next one is while loop. So while loop executes a block of code as long as a condition is true. So this is your syntax for while loop here, right? You have your condition code to execute, then you make sure the condition is eventually becomes false to avoid infinite loop. Very important, right? You need that condition. So we get to our example 4 here. We're gonna count down, do a simple countdown using while loop here. So countdown with while loop here. So what are we counting down here? You start with the countdown, which is 5, and then while countdown is greater than 0, you know, print the countdown until you get to countdown where it's that countdown -1. That's where it cuts, which I think will be 5, but which will be 4, to print up to 4 thereabout. So run this. Yeah, up to 5 actually. So that's where it does the countdown until it gets to this condition, and then it stops the while loop, right? So 5 4 minus 5 4 3 2 1, and then it stops. Yeah, lift off, like you know how you count rockets that lift off. So I'm just putting print lift off. 5 4 like NASA. Okay, for example 5 now, we're gonna simulate a target reach. Example is gonna be we're simulating like a portfolio value here. Print the title. This is our target value. The current value, target value 2000, current value 1K. Growth value is 10%, so 1.10, right? For 1000, we want the growth percent. For 1000, the growth per period will be 10%, right? 10% of 1000 until we get to the target variable. Assign the growth factor, um, then period will be 0. Okay, so here we're gonna loop as long as the current value is less than the target, loop through it and do the calculation from, you'd start with 1K times times the growth factor, and then it's still less than the target value. It loops again, does the calculation. So this is where it's doing the calculation plus one until it gets to the um, target value, right? So I run this, right? So it gets to the, so here period 8 is when it goes. So at period 7, you still haven't gotten to the target value of 2K, but after period A, where you are above your target value, then it exits the or it stops the loop, right? And then of course we will print the, here the target value was reached in 8, yeah, period 8. Okay, the next one is break and nest. Break exits the loop immediately. Nest skips the current iteration and moves to the next. So we have an example here for the break statement. So for one in this range, if is equals to 5, run through it until you reach 5, and then it breaks the loop. right? So when I is equals to 5, it will break the loop. So we run this, right? So it reach 5s and then it breaks the loop. Next one is next here. So again, here, just thought I should show it. Didn't use it that much in my book, but again, here you have for this within this range, if the number divisible is equals to 0 or like odd, right? Paste this and say is odd, and then skipping, you paste the value and then you skip to the next iteration. So you run this, right? So it shows you example 7, skip to the next one, run, right? So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 odd, skip, 2 even, it processes, then 3 skips, and so forth and so on. Okay, so that was a very quick, high level overview of looping. Very powerful tool for automating your workflow. It allows you to handle large data sets. As you can see in the book, we'll be using for loop a lot. That's for loop, maybe a little bit of while, but mainly for loop, where we always be iterating through the data sets that we load for our stock prices. So first to it's very essential for repetitive calculation efficiently. Um, Loops is fundamental to R and offers an advanced and more efficient way to iterate um, as well. So it comes in package like apply, family of function, and pour packages. So yeah, so that covers the loop. Uh, I'll stop it right here. Thanks for watching and catch you in the next video. So next video, we're gonna go through the basic data exploration. Thank you.